So we've now found ourselves in a position where the golf ball's finished in a very bare lie, so there's very little grass under the golf ball here. This will happen for a number of reasons. This particular example is an area where the golf course actually gets very wet during the winter, then it's dried out during the summer, but because there used to be a puddle here, there's no grass growing on this at all. But rather unfortunately, there's no relief situation here. If this was still a puddle, I could get a casual water drop. If this was a deliberately man-made track for either vehicles or people, I could get a free drop also. But in this instance, it's actually just a sort of play the ball as it lies situation. The ball rather unfortunately finished in this dried out puddle. No grass under the golf ball, but I have to play the golf ball. If I did want to take a drop, that would be under a penalty of one shot to get relief away from this area as an unplayable golf ball. But in this instance, I think the ball's quite playable from here. I can hit this one quite nicely. You'll also get this sort of lie if you end up on a very, very dry part of the fairway that has no irrigation. Even though there might be grass there, normally if it's very, very dry, particularly on a links type of golf course, you tend to get a lot of bare lies, certainly around the Open Championship and venues like that. Open Championship golf courses, people tend to play most of their shots as if the ball is on a bare lie because everything is very, very tight. It's not these big irrigated fairways that grow nice and long and fluffy. Everything's on a very, very bare lie when you play a lot of links golf course, so you can play most of your shots like this. We should still be able to get a good strike on the golf ball. We should still be able to get the ball to go in the air correctly and actually spin a little bit more aggressively when it lands, so it can work out to our advantage. But we just have to make sure that we're not trying the wrong technique of a leaning back and a lifting and as a scooping type of technique, which would normally take a divot before the golf ball. That definitely won't work in this situation. The situation we need to employ here is maybe just dropping the golf ball slightly further back in the stance. So I'm going to play a 7-iron shot up the hill here. I'm going to play the golf ball just slightly back of centre, whereas normally I would play my 7-iron a couple of inches ahead of centre. On this occasion I'm going to play it just an inch or two back of centre. I'm going to take my body weight in my hands a little bit more aggressively onto my left side, so that encourages me to hit down on the golf ball, making sure that I take the ball first before I get to the turf. So I will still take a little bit of a divot, but it's going to be ball and then turf rather than turf and then golf ball. So lining myself up the hill here, ball slightly back of centre, body weight and hands slightly ahead, and really encouraging to drive across to the left side so I hit down on the golf ball. Hit it down and that will make the ball rise up into the air. So we've hit the golf ball quite nicely there. You can see there's a nice healthy chunk of turf, even though the ball was on a bare lie. I've been able to hit down, take a little bit of the soil, but it was all after the golf ball. So if you're a good ball striker, this shot actually becomes a little bit easier. So it's a great way of practicing striking the golf ball, being able to hit down off the bare lies, taking that little divot after the golf ball. Go ahead and try and find yourself a little bare area on the practice ground, maybe where people have taken some divots from before, place the golf balls in there and go ahead and practice that. It's not easy practice, but it's definitely beneficial for when you find yourself in this situation.